So today I want to talk to you all about something. I want to talk to you all about manifestation. Because with manifestation, there's two sides to manifestation. And I think that a lot of times we get caught in the middle of manifestation. We see things that are happening or going on in our life that we don't like. And we get discouraged. And it would seem as if life is happening to us, situations are happening to us, right? But we don't realize that we are the creators of our reality. We are the architects of our reality. And yes, there's situations that, that we're born into, but it gets to a certain place in life where we literally step into a level of consciousness where if we will understand that we are in control of our life, that we will realize we can create whatever we want. So we get to a place sometimes where we see things in our life we don't like, we're unhappy, we're disconnected, and we don't realize that, hey, a certain level of that we've been manifesting, we've been creating. And then people get stuck in the middle and they get a little discouraged and they don't realize that I also have the power to manifest and create whatever I desire. But I think that we hear so much about manifestation, we don't really hear as much as about steps. We hear about focus, we hear about intentions, but we don't really hear steps. So I came up with this method. I wrote this method. Those of you who have done courses with me, it's something that I teach, and it's called the I Am Method of Mastery. I Am Method of Mastery. So I want to start off, I want to tell you this story. It's a story that's actually, in the Bible, and, I'm open to all religions, but I want to share the story. There's this story of Moses, and there was this point in his life where he felt disconnected from everything in his life. He had ran away from his home. He didn't know who he was. He felt lost. He felt a lot of shame and a lot of guilt. And he decided, I want to connect with God. So one day, he was with the sheep and he saw this bush that was burning, but it wasn't burning up. It just kept going and going. There was no smoke. It was just like this bush on fire endlessly. So he climbed up the mountain and he went to the bush and he heard this voice and he said, Moses. And he heard again, Moses. And he said, who is it? Who are you? And that voice said, I am that I am. It was so amazing. And he starts, talking and he gets these commandments and these things to go do and to deliver to the people. And he asked, he said, who should I say sent me? And the voice said, it's God, but I am that I am. And what that means is the reason why he didn't give him a specific name. He said, I am, is because he was saying that you cannot confine me to the definition of a name. I am what I say that I am. Right? And so often we don't realize that we come from that same source. We are who we say we are. We have the ability to create what we desire to create. But we allow life and situations to stand in between us and our desires. But there's this tool, there's this process called manifestation. So I wrote out, this process, and it's called the I Am Method of Mastery. This is you creating endlessly at will based on what you desire. And the I stands for intention. The A stands for action. And the M stands for manifestation. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to plug in. I want you to think about your number one desire right now. Maybe you want to manifest a new home. Maybe you want to manifest a new job. Maybe you want to manifest a relationship. Maybe you want to manifest love or connection or understanding, finally being around a tribe or a community that understands you. Whatever that is, I want you to think about that intention right now, that thing that you desire. And the I again stands for intention. And what that basically means is you have to become clear on what you want. And it's so interesting because in coaching people around the world, you'd be surprised how so many people know for a fact that they're unhappy, that they don't like where they're at in life, but they're not clear on what they want. So the first thing is you have to become clear on what is your intention. What are you trying to create? You can't just say, I want to be happier. All right, you want to be happier. So let's dig to the root of what are some of the things that are manifesting now in your life that are causing you to be unhappy. Maybe it's your thoughts, maybe it's negativity. So maybe the first solution is, okay, how do we get you into an environment that's more positive? Maybe it's your financial situation, okay? So maybe we have to come up with a strategy for you to be able to create more resources so you can have more time, you know, so that you'll be able to have the ability to do what you desire without restriction or limitation. But the first thing I want you all to really sit down is, what is my intention? What do I want? And in this step, do not limit yourself based on you don't know how you're going to do it. You know, if you say, hey, one day I want to be a singer, or I want to be able to make $1 million a year, you know, it may seem far off, but if that's what you desire, if that's what you want, don't limit yourself just because you don't have a path or a solution right now. I want you to first have the belief that you can have your desires. It doesn't have to be logical. It doesn't have to make sense. But start off and at least give yourself the opportunity to get clear on what do you want. And then after you get clear on what you want, you know what that intention is. This is the thing about intentions. We have to direct them somewhere. And the difference between somebody who's able to manifest something versus someone who is just dreaming is this next step. Are you guys ready for the next step? I got to see a thumbs up if you guys want to hear this next step. You can have your desires. Yes. Can I get a thumbs up if you guys want to hear the next step? The next step is action. The I am method of mastery. First, have your intention and then your action step. Nothing happens just because you want it to happen. Nothing happens. But when you get clear on what you desire, that is like you starting to have a blueprint. You know, you're a builder. You can build whatever type of house you want, but you don't just start putting bricks down, or you don't just dig a hole and just think about, okay, I'm gonna get some lumber and nails and we're gonna see what happens. That's failure, and that is setting yourself up for failure. But the intention is the blueprint. And now that you have the blueprint, what are the action steps that you can take to move towards that? So I'll give you an example. Say you want to create more financial abundance. Right now you have a job, right? Say you're making 20 bucks an hour at your job. All right, there's a couple options, right? Your intention is to create more resources for yourself. You can get it. When we write out the list of action steps, it's things that you can do right now to start changing your situation. All right, I can get a second job. That's an action step. All right, I can present myself, you know, to my managers and ask for a raise. Okay, that's an action step. Okay, I can start a side business. That's an action step. I can go on YouTube and I can find a skill that I'm interested in and I can study it. We'll just say social media management, right? I want to tell you guys, social media is booming right now. We need more qualified people to help run social media. So say social media management. Well, did you know that you can study for 6 months in social media management, understand it enough to offer a company a low rate to start managing their social media, use your success there as social proof and testimonials to go to get 2, 3, 4 other clients, and then match the income that you're making currently and surpass it and completely start your own business. That's just an example, right? And just think of these different action steps. And then once you think about the action step, you lock in and commit onto that action step. And that's when the manifestation process happens. You get clear on the intention. You write out the action steps. You start taking action. And remember, life is about co-creating with the universe. When you take the action and you put forth the energy, you allow the universe then to be able to multiply or magnify what you're working on. But what happens is there's so many people who are just waiting. Oh, I just believe it's going to happen. I'm waiting for my opportunity. Well, guess what? 20 opportunities passed you. And the reason why you didn't catch them or didn't align with them is because they were 3 steps ahead of you. And all you had to do is take action to take those first 3 steps and you would have met that opportunity. So commit to the action and then you will start to see the manifestation. But this is the beauty of manifestation, you all. And I've experienced this so often in my life. We don't have to have all of the answers. I actually want you guys to disconnect from needing to feel like you have to know or have to have a full length plan of how things are going to happen. All you have to do is first align with what you desire, get clear on it, start taking action, make adjustments based on, feedback, continue taking action, and allow faith to kick in. You all allow, blessings to kick in. But you can't have, anything magnified from zero. 0 and 0 is 0. But start taking 1, 2, 3 action steps and allow those things to manifest. And this is in every area of your life. This is in every area of your life. So I want to open up the space right now for any questions that you guys have. You can even comment, what are you currently focused on manifesting? Are you manifesting, more abundance, more freedom, more time? And I want to say this because this has recently been coming up in coaching, as I've been coaching clients, is time. I want you all to start valuing your time more, because all life is a compilation of moments, right? It's a compilation of moments. And within these moments, we have memory, and we have the actions that we take in this space of time, right? So if we aren't valuing our time, we're not valuing our life, because all our life is moments strung together in the length of time, right? So within that, every time you guys endlessly just waste your time, or you don't value it, or you let other people who don't value you waste your time, you're disconnecting from the value of your life. So as you connect more with self-love, and as you connect more with really understanding the value of your unique gifts and talents, is going to help you value yourself more and your time more. And I tell people all the time, one of the greatest things that you can do is to connect with self-love, because what it does is it unlocks some of those buried gifts and talents in you. It's like buried treasures. And, a great example is, let's think about this. Imagine a treasure chest. And this treasure chest has everything you would ever desire in it. All the gold, all the jewels, everything where you could buy whatever you want, live wherever you want. It has everything in it. Now, you're looking for this treasure, right? The treasure is there, but the treasure is just buried deep down into the earth. So you find out where it's at, and you start shoveling away. You start shoveling away. You start shoveling away. You open up the treasure box, and everything is there. Well, guess what? The separation from the treasure and you at first was the dirt that was in between. The treasure was there. It was valuable. All your dreams, everything was there. There's just a separation in between you and the treasure. And I tell people, this is just like your gifts and talents. Your gifts and talents are the buried treasure inside of you, that when you connect to it, the abundance will flow. That passion will flow, that drives you to continue getting better and better. The fulfillment, the happiness will flow. But there's all this dirt in between that is keeping you. And that's the trauma. That is the disappointment. That is the unbelief. That is the, feeling like you can't do it. The limiting beliefs. That is the dirt. Now, if you would dig out that dirt, guess what? You will find the treasure box. And guess what? The beautiful thing is that this treasure is customized just for you. And how we do that is we do the healing work. We start connecting more with self-love. And these are the things that, I teach and I coach, my clients. And I want to invite you all right now, if there is anything in your life where you're like, hey, I want to manifest some things, but I just need some help. Like, I was at that place 10 years ago where, man, I had the biggest dreams ever, but I didn't know how to take action. I didn't know how to start manifesting what I desired. All I saw was the things in my life I didn't like, And I didn't even realize that I had manifested that negativity because those were the things inside of me that I was creating. I was actually taking the steps to keep myself in a rut, or taking the steps to keep myself in a cycle versus manifesting what I desire. So right now, I want you all to DM me right now the word support. I want you to DM the word support if there's a business that you want to start. You're like, hey, I just need some support, starting this business, and I'm ready to invest in a coach to level up. If there's a relationship you're trying to cut off, or a relationship, with yourself you're trying to heal, DM me support. If you're like, hey, I'm ready to invest right now into myself because I want this. I won't let my inactions keep me from the manifestation that I desire in my life. And right now, if you guys have any questions while you still have me on, I'm going to be on for a couple more minutes. I want to be able to continue to give you guys some free value. I want to continue to be able to give you some things where if you're like, hey, I can't invest in myself right now, but I want to get started. Because what I would tell you is what I even taught you today about the I Am method of mastery. That is something where you can start changing your life in the next month, the next 3 months, the next 6 months, so that you can, be able to work with a coach or work with someone like myself to help someone who can help get you to the next level. But you may be saying, hey, right now, I just need to get those first steps under my belt. That's what I'm here for. And that's what community is for. Community is here to be able to support you as you grow. So then guess what? You expand and you grow and you get out of survival mode where you're able to help support other people without it taken away from you. And I firmly believe that as we create this new culture, that our world is going to change. And that's what I'm here for. That's why I do these lives every single week. That's why I, connect to people on social media, is because I will not settle for a world that is so disconnected, or for people who are so disconnected, or for relationships where men and women are against each other and they don't feel connected. And he's trying to make sure she doesn't get him, and she's trying to make sure he doesn't do something for her. Like, the world is at war. And it's not out in the streets. It's first internally with the individual. Whereas like their heart is saying, I want love, but the mind is saying you don't deserve it. Or the heart is saying, I believe that there's somebody for me, but your mind is saying, but I will never find anybody. That's a disconnection in the war with self. So the reason I'm committed to doing this work is because when we help individuals heal, then guess what? The family heals. I want you all to take a moment right now and just ask yourself. I want you to ask yourself, did you feel like you had the highest level of support and love from your mother? Do you feel like you had the highest level of support and love that you could have gotten from your father or your grandmother, or whoever raised you? And for a lot of you all, probably most of you, is going to be like, no, one of them let me down. I wish I had more love from the other. But here's the thing. If you ask them that same question about their mom and dad, I bet you'll get a similar answer. And that's what I had to learn. I had so much resentment, towards, my stepfather. I had so much resentment, towards my family. But I had to realize that they were just trying to survive and do better than their parents. And they were a kid once who felt like their mom didn't love them as much as they wanted. And then they were a teenager trying to figure it out, and life happened. And guess what? The majority of our grandparents were the same way. But we have the opportunity right now, you have the opportunity to change all of that, where your kids are like, man, my mom and dad weren't perfect, but they loved me. Everything that I needed to become who I am today, they provided. When I, felt lost, they were there to hear. When I needed advice, they gave me good advice. I felt loved, not abandoned or neglected, emotionally, mentally, financially. We can't rely on anybody else anymore, you all. So that's why I'm here, and that's why I want each and every one of you all to step up into the highest version of yourself. And again, if you are ready for support, DM me the word support, and I'm ready to work with you. And until then, you all keep tapping in on every week. Keep tapping into my posts, because we're doing this to change the world, to change the community. I have a client on right now, and I have so much respect for her because she brings babies into the world. So her job is to help life come onto this planet. So when I'm able to connect with people like her, it inspires me because she is on the front lines of new hope every day. So I thank you all so much for tuning in. Until next time, you all, God bless.